Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kana, this is Jar of Fireflies, and here I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3. And today we're doing a day in a life getting ready for Shabbat, as well as a little Q&A all about what I'm praying. Okay, I asked you guys in a recent video to give me questions for another Q&A video, and I got a ton of questions, and I'm so excited to answer them for you guys. Now, mixed in those were a lot of questions specifically about my prayers. So I thought I'd go ahead and take a few minutes this morning while my kids are getting up and having breakfast and stuff like that to go ahead and answer. So my husband goes and he prays at our synagogue at Shul, and he does the whole long service that is in this book. I pray only part of it, and I pray at home. This is because women do not have the same requirements as men as far as prayer. Men are required to pray with a minyan, which is a group of 10 men, and women do not have that requirement. So we get to stay home. And quite frankly, I like it that way because I'm a bit of a homebody and an introvert, if you haven't noticed. So there's a certain part of what I pray every morning that I like to do before I eat or drink anything. So that's why you see me praying before I start eating or drinking in the morning. Those prayers don't have anything to do with eating or drinking. There are specific prayers for meals. We call them blessings, brachot. There are a handful of these brachot, these blessings that we say before food, and they are specific for what kind of food that you are eating. So if I'm just eating a piece of toast in the morning, for example, I only have the one blessing to say. But if I'm eating, like toast and a side of fruit and a drink, then I'm gonna have several of these blessings to say because I'm eating several different types of food. Okay, now back to what I am doing in the morning. I am not reading from a Torah in the morning. This is called a Siddur. It is just a prayer book. The Torah is the actual scroll, and we keep those in our synagogue. I've done a video where I show a Torah scroll that we were finishing writing, and I will link to that in the description box below. Now, I was asked, when can I use God's name? And that is when I am saying my prayers. When I'm saying my prayers, then I use God's actual name. If I'm just talking throughout the day, that's when I will say God or Hashem. And those we can say anytime. But if I was to use God's name just in random conversation, I guess, then that would be taking God's name in vain, and we do not want to do that. So yes, I am saying specific prayers every morning when I wake up. I'm saying the same thing. I was asked if that becomes sort of mindless, and it can. It totally can. It's something that I have to be mindful of, that I'm not just racing through the words in order to get them done, that I'm actually thinking about what I'm saying and that they have meaning for me. Now, I do spend time studying these words and learning their meanings, like their deeper meanings, not just like the basic level, what am I saying, but like what else is in there. There's also a comfort in saying these same words over and over again every day. There's a familiarity with them and an understanding where I really know these words. Not just that I have them memorized, but that I really know them. And to me, that really helps with the relationship with God because the whole thing is just kind of like a big hug. But I am totally allowed to also just freestyle it. We call that hitbodedut, and that is where you're just talking to God, and I do that all the time. That's the kind of thing that I can be sitting there washing the dishes and I can be like, okay, God, let's chat. I absolutely love to pray in that way, but I absolutely also really love, and it's very important to me, that I pray the way that I do with the specific prayers every morning. But yeah, throughout the day, and sometimes I'll just take a break from these specific prayers if there's something on my mind that I really want to talk to God about, and I'll get that done. So yes, I am absolutely allowed to speak to God directly. There isn't an intermediary there or anything like that, and I don't need to use someone else's words. I can just use my own words and chat with God. Okay, let's open up this Siddur. I will show you specifically what I am praying here every morning, and then we'll move on with my day. Okay, so here is my Siddur, and I'll just open it up to the beginning. Okay, so we start here, and I say this prayer here called Modeh Ani as soon as I wake up, so not even like before I come out in the morning. And then after I wash my hands, I say this one that is ending up there. And then I say this one, but I also say that one every time that I go to the bathroom. And then I continue on with this in the morning, and then into the morning blessings, which are all of these pages here, and they end here, and then I go into the Torah blessing. So I want to make sure that I say these before I study any Torah, and so that continues on to this page and then to here. And then I jump into Adon Olam. This one is not required, but I just really enjoy this one. So it's here, here, and there. So at this point, I grab a different book. This is my book for Shabbat because it has a prayer in it that I like to say every day, and it's just not in my weekday siddur, and it's called Nishmat. And so it's these 2 pages, and then that ends right there. So I like to say that one every day. Okay, then I come back to this one and I skip ahead a whole bunch, and I will say the Shema prayer. So that's here, and then it goes on here for a few pages. And then it ends right over here, about halfway down this page. And then after that one, I skip a couple of pages ahead and I say the Amidah, also called the Shemona Esrei. And this one is quite long. So I'm not saying the gray boxes or the tiny words, I'm just doing this Hebrew and English here. The gray boxes are for certain times of the year or for certain days of the month. Yeah, so then it ends right here. And that's it, and then I'm all done. Okay, so I hope that explained a bit more about the praying that I do in the morning. We call it davening. So if I use that word, that's what I'm talking about. The sun is really coming up now. It is bright and beautiful here through my curtains. And I'm gonna go ahead and head into the kitchen and start cleaning up. My husband was up late last night cooking, so I'm gonna get in there and do some cleaning up, and we're gonna get on with our day. Okay, so breakfast is all done. The kids are all up and kind of just getting ready to go. I'm about to take my daughter to a little backyard camp. I don't know if there are backyard camps like outside of Jewish culture, but it's a big thing for us here in the summers where it's just called a backyard camp, and it's usually some, you know, older girls who are running the camp or maybe a mom or something like that. And it's a very inexpensive little camp, and you send your kids for, you know, about 5 hours a day, and they just get to play and do activities and have fun. And so it's great. So I'm going to take my daughter to that. My boys are going to be staying home with me, and then yeah, we'll get on with the day. Okay, my daughter is at camp and we came back home. It was just a quick walk around the corner, which was fantastic. I love that. And my younger son is playing because he already finished his lunch, and my older son is in here eating his lunch. And I've already eaten my lunch. I ate an early lunch, lots of lunch. Anyhow, I wanted to take a quick moment to show you what food we are eating for Shabbat. My husband came home a little bit there after we got back from dropping my daughter off and quickly made the lunch, or put it together. It's cooking now, so I don't know, maybe that means I'm making it now. I'm just watching the pot to make sure it still makes noise. But anyways, I wanted to show you what food we are eating. So starting with dinner tonight, we are having Moroccan fish. Ta-da! This stuff is so amazing. I love it so much. We are planning to do a video where we make this together, and I tell you all exactly how to make it and ingredients and all that jazz. Just hasn't happened yet. Sorry. A lot of videos that I want to do. And of course, we're going to be having challah. I make all of my own challah because we're gluten-free and you can't buy gluten-free challah around here. I did do a video where I made the challah and showed you all how to do it and the recipe and all that jazz, so I will link to that in the description box below. To go with that bread, we will have an assortment of salads that my husband will be making. He'll be mostly putting those together a little bit closer to Shabbat. So yeah, and we're also planning a video where we do all of those. So stay tuned, it'll happen eventually. I just, again, don't know when yet. Okay, now moving on to lunch tomorrow. This is what we're having for lunch tomorrow. It is basically some sort of a roast with all kinds of veggies, potatoes and onions and carrots. And yes, I am so super excited about that. It's making the kitchen smell so good. Now, yesterday I spent most of the afternoon making a bunch of Kugel recipes. Coogle is basically sort of a side dish. It's usually some sort of vegetable based or fruit based. It can really be pretty much anything. And it's a dish that you make in advance that you can put in the fridge and it easily warms up or can be served at room temperature on Shabbat. So it's a great make ahead dish. So I made 3 of those yesterday. Let me show you what I made. First up here, I have a potato kugel. So this one I have done in some other videos. If I've made a recipe, by the way, it is always in my food playlist, and I will link to that playlist in the description box below. Okay, so this one is a potato kugel. So it's basically potatoes and onions, and then with a few other ingredients to make it all stick together. And you bake it for a long time, and it's delicious. The next one that I have here is called an apple kugel. It is an apple crisp. Who are we kidding here? It is literally an apple crisp. And yet we put it on the table and call it a side dish. But it's dessert, but it's not. This is what Jews do. And last but not least, I made a broccoli kugel. All right, this is literally like broccoli, mayonnaise, and eggs. Sounds totally crazy. It's incredibly delicious though. And my kids actually like it. So if they're gonna eat broccoli, I'm all for it. Okay, now with food all taken care of for Shabbat, I really need to get to cleaning. Got to pick up my daughter in a couple hours, so I'm going to start vacuuming and picking up around the house and getting the kids involved in some cleanup as well. All right, let's do this. Cleaning the house on Shabbat like this, giving it like a good clean, really allows me to totally relax once Shabbat rolls around. So you'll pretty much always see me cleaning in a Shabbat prep video because I'm definitely always doing it. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, please hit that like button. I would super appreciate it. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I would really love to see you here again. Okay, so I'm off to pick up my daughter right now. We're gonna just walk down there around the corner, take the dog with us, and get a little fresh air. I have finished vacuuming the house. Everything looks so nice and clean. Hi, Bella, our dog. Yeah, and it's 1 o'clock right now, so should have a pretty relaxing afternoon. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so hot and humid out here, but it feels really good. Oh, there's a breeze. That is nice. But anyways, it felt really good to get out here and do a little bit in the garden. It's been so hot lately that I've been really ignoring it, and it's also been raining a lot, so I have not had to come out here and water, which means the garden's gotten a little out of hand. Some sections are very much like a jungle. Others just have a very good amount of weeds. And before I do fall planting, I need to come out here and spend some serious time in the garden. But in the meantime, it's still great. And I went ahead and grabbed a few onions for some of our salads. And these peppers, I've been watching them for about a week. They haven't really changed in size, so I think that they're ready. And then there's that one hot pepper down there at the bottom that my husband's gonna be really excited about. So yeah, I got a little pot of veggies for Shabbat. All right, I'm gonna go inside and wash my face because wow, it's hot and humid. It's not usually so humid here. But anyways, let's go inside. Oh my gosh, okay. This afternoon just feels like it's been a little bit crazy. I came in from the garden and there's just been like a lot of little things happening. I'm folding laundry right now. And one of our neighbor's kids came by and mowed the yard. So we took care of him. And then my husband came home and was doing a little bit more Shabbat prep. And the kids have just been playing and snacks and more snacks because that's what kids do. And yeah, now I'm doing laundry. So I'm gonna work on this for a little bit and then I will probably check back with you guys here a little closer to Shabbat because there's not really much else going on this afternoon. With all the prep work that I did yesterday going into this and then cleaning the house this morning, I'm in a pretty good spot. So I'm excited. I get to go into Shabbat like super relaxed. But yeah, laundry still, laundry. All right, Shabbat starts here in a little bit. I got about 30 minutes or so, I think. Got to double check on the time there. But everything is pretty much done. I'm just gonna spot clean up here in the kitchen just a little bit and make it look perfect. But other than that, I think we are good to go. So thank you all so much for watching today. I really enjoyed sharing my day with you. I hope that you all enjoyed it too. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day today. And I will see you in my next upload. Wine. So, but I am not reading from a, there are a handful